as entrepreneurs, we've got a lot of challenges. And one of the things that we really need is to be able to perform at our best. Now, how do we do that? Well, we make sure we are our best. And today I've got a remarkable entrepreneur, a former NFL quarterback who is just really done a great job of not only making himself high performance, but now with his partner, helping entrepreneurs like you and I become unbelievably successful by having the energy to really make a difference in the world. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. I'm John Bowen, and you are at AES Nation, all about accelerating success.
Ordinary success? No way. You want amazing, remarkable, exceptional breakthroughs. Dig deep, think bold, drive hard, watch yourself soar beyond your dreams. AESNation.com.
Jordan, I am so excited to have you here. Jordan, you've done some amazing things in your, I'm 61, so I'm going to say in your short life, and I mean, you're not that short of life at all, but the amazing parts, being successful in the NFL, we all know the small percentage there, but you were involved and very concerned about being in great shape, and then you continued it. You're helping guys like me. So thank you for coming and sharing your message with my fellow entrepreneurs.
I appreciate you having me on. It's something that I've been passionate about for a long time. Obviously took a little hiatus and went down a performance career of my own, but back into what I'm passionate about, which is helping out guys like you and people sitting around not knowing exactly what the answer is for them, their career, their lifestyle, their energy, their weight, everything we get into.
Now, it's so important. And Jordan, what I want to do, because I mean, you and I had a chance to visit, and you've been working with some of my great friends in our industry as well, and just got some super reports with you and your partner, what you guys are doing. But one of the things that everybody's always interested in when they're meeting a fellow entrepreneur like yourself, and getting some of the life lessons and that we're looking to apply so that we can have that high energy to make a difference. Quite honestly, I can't even imagine having the high energy. I was in high school football as a line guy. That was as far as I got. And I did work in sports and entertainment, as I told you. But just a huge respect for that energy, and bringing even part of that to entrepreneurs makes such a difference. But give us a little bit of your background, how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so I'm an owner and a coach and a specialist with what we do here at MetPro, short for metabolic profiling. Quick background on that. As a collegiate athlete in college, I was always kind of the and you'll be jealous, but the more slender body type. So I could never gain the weight that I wanted to gain. And I came back one summer, and my parents, and actually my oldest brother, who still plays in the NFL, were working with this coach. And they're like, hey, you got to go work with this guy. He's fantastic. I'm like, really? I feel like I work with a lot of good coaches. And so I went and saw this guy named Angelo Poli. And he's been doing metabolic profiling and working with professional athletes, men and women, especially busy businessmen and women, for a very long time. And so we did some work with posture and sustainability for how much I traveled and some of the aches and pains that I had as an athlete. Then we also worked on my body, and I actually ended up gaining about 22 pounds and losing about 4% body fat, which was my goal at the time. Now, I go in the opposite direction, try to keep it thin and trim that I'm done playing. But so we go back a very long way. And once I was done with my NFL career and I continued to work with Angelo all the way through, I was passionate about the performance professional athlete side. So I jumped on board, started doing some work with our athletes, but then more importantly, we work with about 400 men and women on a daily basis, predominantly in their 40s and 50s, that are busy. They've been putting themselves first for a very long time, their business first and their family first for a very long time. And so we do a lot with body composition change, energy, working on your metabolism, getting you to a place where you feel better and you transform, whether that's pounds on the scale or whether it's energy and how you perform on a daily basis in your meetings and with your family. So something I'm passionate about, and obviously you can tell it comes over the screen.
Yeah, very much, Jordan. And this is something, I wanted to have you on because this is something, quite honestly, I've struggled all my life. I did not, you're right, I did not have that slim body or slender body
It'll catch up
structure.
with you.
Yeah. And you know what, and so it's always been a battle. And I'm one of the guys that, quite honestly, if I could pay someone to go out and do 100 push-ups for me, I would. I mean, go do the hardest exercise I want, you know, and I would get the benefit. I would be the first guy in line, or if there was a magic pill. I have looked, I haven't found it. And what you guys are doing is really what works. And that's why I wanted to bring it in, because to me, about 3 years ago, I had walking pneumonia, and just, I had never been sick really, you know, anything beyond a cold. And it was just like 2x4 hitting me. I couldn't breathe. You know, for 2 weeks, I couldn't have anything to do with business. And I have multiple businesses, and I've been really blessed and privileged. And all of a sudden, I couldn't do it. And it was really then I started to get very concerned about my health, and, you know, make some of the things that, you know, you've shared with me happen. And I want to take it step by step, because, you know, I don't want any of my fellow entrepreneurs to wait until they have the heart attack or the walking pneumonia. Let's deal with it now, because this is, you know, we all want to take care of the people we love, the causes we care about. We're in business to have a great quality of life for all stakeholders. But, you know, if you can't do it, then there's a real problem. So, Jordan, what I want to start with, and, you know, in any part of starting, and you and I were talking about this, the power of doing a self-assessment, because, you know, we're all different. How do we do that? I mean, so there are probably a few entrepreneurs that are slender, but there's a, you know, particularly as you get up, I'm 61, you know, 40, 50, 60s, it's a little harder there making this all happen. How do you customize it and, you know, deal with that self-assessment?
Well, it's important. And no diet, no one philosophy, no one modality works for every single client or every single client's goals or metabolism. So we really break it down into two things. There's a lifestyle component. Everything we want to institute needs to work with us as we're working with our clients. Then when we're done working with our clients and they graduate on, habitual patterns that they're going to continue to implement for that lifestyle change that works long term. So every travel schedule, every business day, what your days look like, when they start, when they finish, what you have access to, what meals you can control, what meals you can't control, building in a consistency and a structure that fits each lifestyle on a daily basis. That's first. It's got to be something that you can do daily and something that works. The second aspect of that is evaluating your metabolism. And unfortunately, you can't put a number on it, right? And what I always say is, what we're interested in is, we're not interested in weight loss. We're interested in maintenance, and whether your goal is energy or body composition change or weight loss. In order to maintain at some point, you don't diet your way to a better metabolism. The metabolism's adaptive. So as you eat less, if you are dieting, your metabolism's slowing it down, going to make it more difficult to actually maintain that at some point. So we start with an evaluation. We need to understand how your metabolism actually responds to caloric adjustments, carbohydrate adjustments, structure, timing, frequency, glycemic load, a lot of things that play into how you feel on a daily basis. We want your energy to feel better first, and then we'll start to address the body composition change. But knowing that at each step of the way, as we learn more and more about you and get data on a daily basis, our coaches are evaluating how that's producing results, positive, negative, and continually readjusting. There's no one thing that's going to work the entire time for all of our clients. And more importantly, you travel sometimes. Your schedule is different sometimes. Certain days are tougher. That's where we start, evaluating, assessing, and adjusting to fit that.
Yeah, no, you're saying it, you know, Jordan, I'm thinking of, you know, the days I really traveled a lot. I did some investment banking. I did 120 due diligence meetings in a year. And, you know, it's just, we had access to private jets then, but it was, you know, I mean, just the quality of life. It sounds like, wow, you know, it's a phenomenal. It's not. And, you know,
and there's no pill, there's no one diet that works for everything. So, you know, our clients get on the phone when they're traveling and they call their coach. Hey, I'm headed through an airport. Hey, I got a bunch of meetings today, and our coaches put things in place to help them be consistent. You can be consistent. We can always evaluate what's working and how your metabolism's responding. You'll be successful, but there's not a magic pill. Trust me. If there was, it'd be every infomercial.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I think word of mouth would spread quick enough. We wouldn't even need the commercials here.
Would be here.
Yeah. So let me go. You know, so we've got the self-assessment, you know, as number one, and because all of us are different, and, you know, we have different goals, we have different, you know, foundations we're starting from, our bodies and so on. And this is one that we were talking as we were getting prepared for the interview, kind of the key drivers. And I got to tell you, this one for me is the most important because I can get excited about doing the assessment. Okay, we got the commitment, we're going to do it, and then and particularly entrepreneurs, we're pretty tough guys or gals. We think we can muscle through anything because the 2x4s have hit us so many times, and we get back up and we get going. And the thing that you said to me, and I haven't had anybody start that way, but I think it's so important, is you can't do it alone. And, tell me what you mean by that and the power of really having that accountability.
Well, yeah, I mean, MetPro at its core is a system. It's a system of diagnostics. It's an evaluation-based system, seeing how your body responds to intake ranges and different modalities at which your coach will implement. But you've been successful because you've thrown everything, brain, space, time, into everything other than yourself. Right? The best athletes, the best businessmen and women in the world have coaches for what they are best at. So why should it be any different with your body? And so that's what we do. There's a sense of adaptation that is needed. So we will evaluate daily how your energy, how your weight is responding to these changes that we're making, or responding to your consistency or your lack of consistency at times as well, to always get the best adjustment in place. But there's a sense of relationship as well. You need somebody that understands you, understands your schedule, understands what's realistic to implement from a nutritional standpoint, as well as a fitness standpoint. It'd be nice for me to tell you over the phone or right now that you should be working out 5 days a week. Well, what if that doesn't work 1 week? What if you only get 1 or 2 in? How do we adjust things? So our coaches are there as really a relationship. Obviously, we're going to be educating and telling you along the way why your metabolism, why your weight, why things are working or aren't working. But there's a sense of accountability as well. And when you're held accountable to you wanting to make changes in your energy, your lifestyle, your health, you're going to be most successful when someone on the other side is saying, hey, I know it's tough, but here's what we need to do. Here's how you're going to be successful. And so that's a big reason our clients are successful, because of the coaching, right? I had a coach my entire career. I had actually multiple coaches my entire career. That's why our program has nutrition, fitness, lifestyle coaches, all that have a different hand in making sure that you're successful, because you can't do it on your own. Right? We're going to make sure that you don't have to guess on a daily basis. You know your meetings, you know your phone calls, you know what you have to do when you wake up in the morning. We're going to make sure we take care of everything else.
Well, Jordan, what I think of, and it's, go back to your professional career, all the way through as an athlete and, ending up in the NFL and being successful there, you're surrounded by coaching and training. And I don't know what the percentage would be, but I'm going to take a stab that 90%, maybe probably closer to 95% of the time you're training, doing the things we're talking about, and then 5%, on Sunday, as a pro athlete, you're performing. And you're only performing for, a small number of days really in the whole year. But we're spending so much time training and getting in shape and making sure we're ready to perform at a high level. And when we take it to the entrepreneurs, what we do is we perform constantly. You're on stage, in meetings and, conferences, on calls and video conferences, you're traveling. And what we don't do is we really don't take the time. I'm going to I'd flip it. Probably we're performing 95% of the time and maybe 5% training and getting ready for this. And how do you help people get, that balance? Because, most of the time, actually, we're performing at 110% of our time, or we're committed 110%. We can't commit 24/7. That's all any of us get type thing.
Well, and I tell you what, and it's a good point, because we've presented and talked to boardrooms and investor groups and partners and companies. And our first question is always, what does your day look like tomorrow? Do you know your schedule tomorrow? Do you know where you're going to be, what meetings, as I alluded to, and phone calls you have? Now, raise your hand. Everybody raises their hand. And then we say, okay, how many of you know what your plan is tomorrow for eating? How many of you know where you're going to be or what you have access to? Hardly anybody raises their hand. It's about having a plan in place, right? It's about having a structure in place. And so that's mostly what our coaches are doing for our clients on a daily basis, is making sure, hey, you know what, if you have 5 minutes before you run out the door in the morning, food prep may not be the answer for you, right? It may not fit into your lifestyle. So how do we put things in place that you can still be successful and structured and consistent with whatever is most realistic for you. And you can't do that without a coach. You can't have a continually adaptive plan without somebody on the other side knowing what's working and how to implement something that is actually realistic. So that's what we find most beneficial for our clients. We also have a tool. We have an app that we use. Now, that's not the program, but it's how our clients see their meal plan. If you're sitting at a restaurant, you know exactly what to eat based on your plan that your coach has put in front of you. You'll know what your day looks like. That's important for our busy executives, medical professionals, business men and women. It's having a plan.
Well, and tell me, Jordan, when I think about this and I go, and having been a guy, I think I've lost over 2,000 pounds in my life. And I did not ever weigh 2,245 type thing. So, we all chase, and I have read, I don't think I have any diet books back there, or exercise books for that matter, but I have, it's been something I've always been really interested in. And, and what I've found, and, you're talking about this continuous adapting is that this idea that what happens so often is we do this, our body changes, we start getting results, all that, and then all of a sudden now, what worked in the beginning, we got all this excitement, things are working, and then they're not. I mean, how do we adapt to that? Because there's nothing more disappointing than when you're doing something and it doesn't appear to be getting results. I mean, we all like to believe as entrepreneurs we're long-term thinkers, but I got to tell you, this. We are long-term thinkers, but we're also like instant gratification as well.
Well, and that's the problem. So the reason that there's a million diet books out there and philosophies is because, frankly, they all work. They all work at some time for someone. But even more importantly, what we found, having done this with thousands and thousands of clients, is what works initially for their energy, for the weight that they want to see come off, is not what ends up working long term. Your metabolism's adaptive, right? If you eat 1,000 calories a day, you're going to be, for one, really miserable. You won't have any energy and your days will suck. You'll lose weight, but eventually, without changing your nutrition or the amount of fitness you're doing from an expenditure standpoint, you're going to stop losing weight. The metabolism's adaptive. It's a survival instinct at its core. It continually re-regulates how your body expends energy, stores fat, and functions in relation to the food that you provided. So eventually, as I mentioned earlier, you can't diet your way to a better metabolism. If you lose 20 pounds by only eating 1,000 calories and you stop losing weight, well, let me tell you, you're only going to maintain that weight loss if you don't eat a gram over 1,000 calories and you keep the exact same exercise that you have. So what we do, we have a periodized nature to what we do. At times, if your body and your metabolism allow, we're going to push for sustainable weight loss. But at some point, the amount or the benefit of the short-term pounds that we're seeing is going to be outweighed by the metabolic effects and how your metabolism is slowing to reacclimate to this new environment. So that's where we do the opposite, and we start to actually retrain or recondition your metabolism, train your body to eat more and be more efficient with the amount of food that you're operating on. So eventually we can start to push for sustainability. Again, at the end result is the fact that you're going to have whatever your goals, body composition, weight, energy, and you're going to be sustaining that on more food. And not just a diet, but you've actually tangibly changed how your metabolism operates. And you can't do that by restricting. All you can do is prove that you're stubborn and that you can do something for a short period of time. And that is why people continually yo-yo diet. Because everything works at times, but not everything works every single time for every client, and not everything will work for the duration of the results that you're looking for.
Jordan, one of the bigger challenges for many entrepreneurs, and as I'm saying this stuff, I think everybody recognizes this is my challenge, but my guess is it may be your challenge as well as a fellow entrepreneur. Is that that you get off track. I mean, you're whether you're at the airport and everything's closed other than a fast food place, or you're stuck somewhere, or you're at this 3-star or 2-star or 1-star Michelin restaurant with friends and clients, and just this one time, and that workout at the gym, gym's over there, I gotta walk a long way to go to it type thing. But it's so easy to get off track. And then I don't know about most of my entrepreneur friends, I got a group that are all triathletes too, so that there, but I got a lot more that aren't, and they are, it's easy to get in this cycle, and it's just so, it's not good for the body, but it's not good mentally, and you lose energy. And how do you keep from getting off track, or if you get off track, how do you get back on?
Well, let me tell you this. Any client that I've talked to, I talk to thousands and thousands of clients every year, educating on what we do. Every client says, my big problem is, once a week I go out and I have carb-laden dinner, or I have some ice cream, and I go, let me tell you, you're 30 pounds overweight, not because of that one meal a week. You're 30 pounds overweight because of the 50 meals in between that one meal a week. So
it wasn't the one ice cream cone that I had the other night.
It was all the decisions you can make periodically between that. So from a standpoint of getting back on track, this is one thing we talk about with our clients. You're not going to be perfect. You're not, right? You're going to have times where you're entertaining clients. You're going to have times where you're out to dinner and you don't want to be the weirdo that orders nothing but a piece of plain grilled chicken and asparagus. That's fine. So it's about understanding what is best. Maybe not what is the best, or not as what is the worst, but understanding where you can afford to have a little movement and a little freedom with what you're choosing and what you're eating. And then more importantly, understanding that when you go out and you have a few drinks, or you have a dessert or something like that, what are the steps to get myself back on track? Understanding that, look, we didn't just throw everything overboard. Now, we gained 2 pounds. We're never going to be able to get back on track. Getting back to consistency and getting back into a rhythm and a lifestyle that works, so that those times that you do eat out and you do enjoy yourself, that dent on the fender is a lot smaller because you've been consistent between those Saturdays. And so your metabolism is operating a lot better. So you eat through those moments inherently through a metabolic standpoint a lot better. So there's no secret. Even our clients that come with us and are very, very successful, trust me, there's days, there's weekends, there's times where emotionally, or just based on where they're at and the environment that they're in, that they have to make choices that aren't the best. And it's educating about how to get back on track when you do see that scale up a pound and you want to freak out, but here's the steps we can take. And it's okay. There's minor fluctuations. Those things will happen. And educating from a behavior standpoint of how to get back on track.
This is great. Jordan, help me out with, one of the things that I see among my friends and myself and others, that there's certain things we like doing. Like, some exercise, there's a few fun things that we enjoy doing. The same though, that we got some, vices on the food side. Like some of us enjoy wine, or maybe it's an ice cream or this or that. How do you help people deal with these, not always, I'm pretty sure if I drink 2 bottles of wine each night, that's not good. Okay.
Right. But
there's some, between not ever drinking ever again, or the ice cream or this. This is something, particularly as an entrepreneur, I want to have high energy.
Yeah.
But I want to do whatever else I want to do too. So how do you help entrepreneurs through this?
Well, sometimes I'll talk to clients that are thinking about starting the program. They go, hey, but I enjoy a glass of wine a couple nights a week. And I tell them, say, okay, so when you're done with us, when you reach your goals, do you envision yourself still having a glass of wine a couple nights a week? And their answer is always yes. So what would be the point of teaching you how to do it in a vacuum or a controlled environment when you're done, you're going to get back to some of those habitual patterns. Right. So teaching clients how to be successful within that, teaching clients how to incorporate some balance, right? We don't want you having, like you said, 2 bottles of wine a night. That won't help any kind of physique that you're going for. But understanding when you can afford to, and also how to offset and balance that, right? One thing I say, we are not carb phobic. Carbohydrates are a very, very important aspect of how your metabolism functions, how your energy responds on a daily basis. If you have performance goals, fitness goals, very, very important. We're going to continually push for balance. So at the end of this, you're eating a regular amount of calories and carbohydrates and vegetables and fats, and incorporating something that is a lifestyle. So there's no one way to skin this cat. We need to make sure that if there are some things that are necessary, whether it's work and entertaining or just lifestyle choices, that we teach you how to be successful within that. So when you're done with us, you don't relapse. You don't go back down, in the wrong direction because we taught you how to do it in a vacuum. That's important. This is a lifestyle change. Your metabolism has to change. In order to do that, you just got to be consistent and put something in place that works.
Yeah, Jordan, help me with, the one thing as an entrepreneur, what I really want is I want to perform life, as you were, as a quarterback performing. I mean, there's no question this is my mission at that moment. But as I'm going to say a corporate athlete, because
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what most entrepreneurs are, and we don't train, we don't diet, I mean, we don't exercise as much. What kind of differences are people seeing on energy, performance in their business, that type of thing, when they really get involved in this and stay and really follow the process that we've been talking about?
Energy is probably the sole most important aspect to every one of our clients, regardless of goal. Whether you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, performance, energy is at the core of making sure you're doing something sustainable. So the manner in which we design meal plans, from a frequency of meals to allocating certain carbohydrate or macronutrient values throughout the day to make sure we're regulating blood sugar and your energy throughout the day. So you don't go 4 or 6 hours without eating and your blood sugar starts to crash and your energy starts to tank. So really, regardless of goal, as we go through this evaluation process, and as we talked about it before we got on, really the first 3 to 6 days, first 10 days or so is really evaluating how your body responds to nutritional changes, to fitness changes, from a weight, from an energy standpoint. We track energy every single day. In relation to weight, we need to make sure that your energy is responding to these nutritional adjustments positively. And if there's ever any dip or spike in that, we need to make sure we know why and understand why. Because if you don't feel good, and this is what I always talk about with clients, when they ask a ton of different details and questions, and I go, if your weight is headed in the right direction, if you are interested in weight loss, obviously there's a lot of goals, and your energy is positive and better than it was on a daily basis, are you going to be happy with what you're doing? Absolutely. So those are key ingredients to making sure we create a successful environment. So energy is the very first thing we'll address. We address that by how much you're eating, when you're eating throughout the day, getting a consistency to the pattern or the cadence of eating is going to pay huge dividends energy-wise. Now, let me tell you, it's not always easy, right? I mean, every schedule is a little different. So building that into whatever your busy schedule, trust me, there's a way you can get your energy to head in the right direction. And within that, we'll start to see the body composition changes that whatever that goal is you have.
Well, the thing that I love about this is that, the reality, we're going to live our life, whatever our life is. Nobody gets out alive, but we're going to live our life. We have a choice. And the choice is we can be high energy, high functional, really do the things that we love doing, which include being very successful in business, taking great care of our family, the causes we care about. And if we can't perform, it's just such a hit. What I'd love to do, Jordan, why don't we go next segment? It's kind of about resources. I want to pull up your website. Tell us a little bit about what's at the website, metpro.co, your concierge nutrition, fitness, lifestyle coaching.
Yeah, so
at MetPro, we specialize in...
Let me turn it off here. There we go.
And so, sorry about that. So, if you go to metpro.co, you're going to get a lot of information. Obviously, and I tell clients this all the time, there's not a philosophy, there's not one diet that you'll see. And that, I think, is a selling point, right? Because you're getting on there with a very unique set of circumstances, of genetics, of lifestyle, fitness capabilities, etc. So that's the evaluation and design that our coaches, our nutrition, our fitness, our lifestyle coaches are going to do for you. But you'll understand if you get on metpro.co a little bit more about the attention to detail. You're going to understand a little bit more about the metabolism. If you toggle onto that button at the top, which is the MetPro system, we kind of go through what this looks like, why we address the metabolism, why it's important, and also the great parity across the board, how you track and how you understand your metabolism. You can see some transformational stories and some feel-good stories as well. But the biggest thing to do is towards the bottom of the screen there, you have the ability to take a portion of our metabolic profiling test. This is going to get the first set of diagnostics about your personality, your lifestyle, your dieting history, your goals. This is what we initially evaluate off of. Now, we don't have it all figured out. It will take a personal consultation, which is the first step for our clients, a one-on-one consultation with your dietitian, which you can schedule an appointment with a metabolic specialist like myself. It'll get on, kind of go over your set of circumstances, talk about how individually this could be tailored and built to fit your goals and your lifestyle. And then if it's something you so choose, we're going to get this party started and get you on board. And that's where the fun really starts. That's where the education, the evaluation starts. But the MetPro homepage is definitely educational in nature, but I always make sure people notice that we're not advertising a supplement. There's not a diet. We don't have supplements. We don't have one diet that works for every client. It's about understanding, evaluating, implementing, tracking, and then continually evaluating so we can make those adjustments to help you be successful. So a lot of clients, I always tell people, get on there, read a little bit, understand, take the assessment, which is that questionnaire, so we can get some information. And then if you'd like to, right on that screen, you can schedule a consultation with me or with one of our metabolic specialists to talk a little bit more about what could work for you and if this is a fit.
This is great. I mean, one of the things that, Jordan, I see
You'll also see a picture of before and after of me on there, so that, go to the transformation pages. Don't laugh too much, but it's not bad.
No. I did see it when I was taking a look at, getting prepared for this interview. And I'm not sure you can guarantee that for transformation for every client. But
every client needs a six-pack. Trust me. We have a lot of successful clients that feel good, lose the weight they want. We don't need everybody to look like a bodybuilder.
No, and part of it, what I love about this is the concierge part. It's really customized because, Jordan, you talked about it. I mean, almost everybody in this is selling a supplement or a particular diet, or I've got the solution. And, I, like everyone else, I want the solution, and the solution is your solution.
And yeah, maybe biasly so, but just from a standpoint of, I'm not selling anything. We're selling the fact that we are going to implement change. We're going to assess, evaluate, and figure out what is working best. And that's important. And you said the concierge part, that's part of the coaching. Every one of our clients has a MetPro phone number that they text, they call on with their coach, sometimes on a daily basis. We're reaching out, on a cadence, on a very frequent cadence to evaluate and assess. But there is a relationship aspect to this as well. Not that everybody needs to feel good, but trust me, this is also not just a, hey, here's what's healthy to eat, or hey, here, we're gonna make it specific. This is not easy. If weight loss or your goals or energy were easy, you'd have done it a long time ago, and those 10 books you have on your shelf all would have worked, but it hasn't, and that's a reason. So if you're ready to make some change and you're ready to have someone work through this with you and what makes sense, that's what we're selling. And that's why we're able to be successful with our clients. So that's what I enjoy, because as an athlete, I was eating so much more than I'm eating now. My metabolism, my body has changed. I'm like 30 pounds less than I weighed when I played. Not that this 30 pound, not that I got shredded up and I got a complete six pack now. I mean, there's obviously still things I got to make sure that I eat and exercise well on a daily basis or whatever fits. So goals change, goals are fluid, your schedule's fluid. That's why we've developed this. And my goals and my daily routine is much different than when I was playing. Because now I'm on this side of it. I'm on kind of your side of it. Obviously, my age, I still got a few things working in my favor, a little more so than a lot of our clients.
But you don't have those linemen trying to get at you, too, which is a whole different experience here.
The best part of it. I don't got to run from people anymore.
Yeah. No, Jordan, thank you. I mean, this has been great. We're going to have the show notes at AS Nation. I have it above me here.com. And all the links to Jordan's stuff. But let me go to the last segment. I just want to kind of summarize what I heard. And this is one of the things. I'm a big believer in coaches and concierges. I'm not sure. I probably have, if I count the concierge services and coaching service, I've got about 10 different people. And the reason I love it is there's a solution. You can buy a book for $10 and it's a solution.
And it'll sit there.
Yeah.
It'll sit there.
Well, and you might flip through it, and usually 5% of people read the first part, a few pages, and the back few, and then it sits getting ready to go. And the challenge with that is that it's not customized. Nobody's there working with you. Jordan started with self-assessment. Each of us, we're a little different, and that's what makes the world really interesting, is that we are different. But we've got to take that the luck of the draw, picking the right book for everything isn't going to happen. And then, I don't know about you, some of us are extremely self-disciplined. I like to believe I'm very self-disciplined. But in this area, I do need that interaction. I was telling Jordan just as we came on, my trainer just reminding me what I have to do the rest of the day type thing. And that, Do we all need that? No. Do I need it? Yes. And so, again, designing the program for yourself, that continuous, really adopting, recognizing the world is changing, stuff happens, and that, you're going to have different levels of success, milestones, but also life is going to change, business is going to change, family, travel. And then, recognize that it's okay to get off track. I mean, you don't want to go out and do it. I was joking about all the wine, but you don't want to, you want to be able to get back on and restart this. And this is, we're on a lifelong journey. And, what I love, if we're going to perform, Jordan, at the level that you did, as a professional athlete, as a corporate athlete, and really make the difference, we've got to have that performance. And you've shared with us how to do it. I want to thank you again. Encourage everybody, go to show notes and check out metpro.co and your clients. Go ahead.
Get you on the team.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, I look at this and I go, you got clients counting on you, customers, the future clients, you got your family, your friends. Let's make it happen. Wish you the best of success.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Exceptional, remarkable breakthroughs. AESNation.com.